And it's been about 2 years since I saw one of these on the lot, and the updates are looking good. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here with Bish's RV of Coldwater, Michigan, with the 2608 BS Rockwood Ultralight, or the Flagstaff 26 FKBS, I think it is. Same RV, same people making it, just two different names. Don't get your head all wrapped around that. This thing though, this is the trailer that I think almost single-handedly resurrected the front kitchen travel trailer market, and for good reason. This is a beast. It packs so much punch into basically 30 feet. Technically 29 feet 11 inches, technically less than 30 feet, but we're going to call it a 30-footer. It gives us a full living room super slide, as well as a 60 by 80 True Queen rear private bedroom slide. It has fantastic traveling access. You've got an enclosed underbelly with holding tank heaters, and there's a bunch of different other ways and options and things that you can do and build onto this. Like for instance, today we're looking at one that has the power stabilizer jacks. We're looking at that champagne exterior. There's also like a white and graphite sort of exterior. You can get it with 1 or 2 airs, 30 or 50 amp. Like, you know, there's a bunch of different ways you could build one of these. But what's awesome is this it's a great example of what I like to call like a portable park model, where if you want to spend extended time someplace, this is an awesome model to do something like that with good living space, with good long-term destination storage. But at the same time, it's also not so big that moving it around is a trick. Now, one of the things, the weight of this generally reads half-ton towable. The hitch weight with that big super slide all the way up front, it is a little bit hefty on the hitch, so half-tons are really going to have to watch your payload ratings in comparison to this thing. I cannot wait to get in here. I can't wait to show you all the updates and all the fun new things they're doing. And it's been a couple years, like I said, so as we go, let me know what you think about the little tweaks, the little changes. I'm going to let you know the different options you might have along the way. And if you appreciate the fair shake, showing you the good with the bad, hit that subscribe button. Meantime, I'm going to get inside and get dried off. So in a case like this, where there's tons of brands making similar floor plans, how do you decide which one's better for you? Because even though this is the one that kind of, I'm sort of giving it credit as nearly like resurrecting this market segment, that doesn't mean it's the only option for you out there. Now, whenever one manufacturer is very successful with a floor plan, the rest of the industry does what I call RV R&D, which means rip off and duplicate. They don't tend to research and develop a whole heck of a lot. As a result, that means that you now have choices, and they're all similar, but a little bit different. They overlap heavily on a Venn diagram, and it's just kind of a matter of which one has the extra little features that speak to you. So, what does the Rockwood Flagstaff Group have to offer? Well, first of all, they actually give you a choice of decors. We're looking at the darker brown HOA-approved decor today. There is also a lighter interior decor. You'll also find out as we go later in the video, there's also a lighter exterior that you could choose to utilize in this. They have updated their entertainment centers. We're looking at a nice little 4K Insignia Smart TV, which is a nice little tweak there. And I like the sound bar instead of speakers all over the place. And frankly, it's just less wiring that can possibly go wrong. I'm a fan of that. Electric space heat and Tootsie Toaster right down here where it could toast your toenails. And right next to the door where I have my umbrella scooted out of the way, you can see you got yourself a little shoe garage over there, a little flip-flop slot. Last year, they updated their converter panels so that they'll basically auto-detect the type of battery that's on it so that they're shunting the appropriate type of juice and level of juice to it. Today, we're looking at the 12-volt DC compressor fridge, just shy of 11 cubic foot of fast-cooling, travel-safe cold storage. There is, however, still a swap down available to a gas electric two-way 8 cubic foot. The benefit there, though, is it on propane mode uses less power if you're going to be, boondocking. Did you notice, too, for 23, they got rid of the carpet? That, I think, is a very, very cool update. Another very, cool update is what's going on with their air conditioning. You no longer have to upgrade to a larger 15,000 BTU main air. That is now standard. However, I think this is still standard a 30 amp camper. So, if you're looking for second air, you're going to want to make sure it's a 50 amp rig. If it doesn't already have the second air on it, it might be prep. So you can double check that. Looking a little deeper here, you can see how we've got the blackout roller shades. You have a choice too between a table and chairs or the booth dinette that can be a sleeper, have some extra storage. You also have a choice between the cuddle compliant theater sofa that you'll find in this one or the trifold sleeper sofa hide-a-bed. So I'd be kind of curious, what decor, what air conditioner configuration, what seating configuration would you really prefer on one of these? Now, you may notice right next to the entry door, it's either a closet or a pantry, or you could kind of split the difference a little bit depending on what you want to do. And that TV can also pivot around so that if you want to stand in the kitchen and have, peek over your shoulder, if you want to sit at the dinette and have a little bit better angle of what's going on, maybe you've got some friends over and it's a game day bucket go boom kind of afternoon, you can, watch the game and everybody can kind of pile in and pile on and pile around all together. Now, that theater seat, you notice how it had that fold down armrest. Mr. Richard Vale, regular viewer, will probably like this because he can get the armrest out of the way and him and his lady friend can cuddle because they're very close like that. There's also household and USB outlets on the back side of that. There's also USB outlets built onto these overhead lights right here. Now, our cabinetry is all pocket screwed lumber core with a sticker fascia wrap, which is pretty standard within this kind of classification of RV. And at this point, I think we've pretty much covered everything here in the living space. Let's slide back to the Taco Tuesday station. And just to help you get your bearings here, I figure we may quite literally slide back into the bathroom space right here. It's kind of a walk around / walk through dual entry bath. That'll become a little more important when it comes to road mode traveling access. And once again, you don't have to upgrade the vent fans. That is one of the original Rockwood doing Rockwood things right there, where they gave us the nicer, bigger vent fans straight from the factory level. Now, it is a corner radius shower, and I'm going to show you how an adult-sized person fits in there. First of all, real quick though, that's not a small sink. That's just a really big countertop. That's a good adult-sized sink. The faucet's a little low. If you want to bend over and wash your face in it, you may want to kind of... You could swap faucets out, by the way. That is something that is potentially possible. Now, looking at headroom up in the shower, that's fine. With the vaulted ceiling and with the skylight, that works just great. Elbow room can be a bit of a trick in here. If we get inside that shower, you might notice there's a little shower soak caddy pocket. You've got the water saver, the shower miser, to keep your fresh tank good till the last drop, basically, so you're not wasting any water waiting for that to heat up. And then it's kind of a funky sort of shape, but at least you do have storage all the way down the wall next to the shower. And then over here, the porcelain foot flush stool has some really great space around that. So overall, like, at my size, at my stature, and with my personal preferences, I can deal with it. There's nothing in here that's really like an all-stop problem for me. Now, weaving our way back here into the private bedroom where I stand currently, you might notice the bed slides a little bit larger than the mattress. This comes from the factory with a 60 by 80 True Queen. I don't believe they offer any other bed size swaptions on this. I do like, though, you've got the little side stands. Remember those lights that had the USB plugs above the theater seat? Those are the exact same things right there. I like that overhead storage. I was a little surprised to learn they don't have any sort of struts on them or anymore. That's the kind of thing that Rockwood has always done very, very well. It sort of, again, just kind of jarred me a little bit. Again, the one that we're looking at today is outfitted with 50 amp service and the optional second air conditioner back here. But if you're going to be camping out in the hot Texas sun, you've got plenty of, cooling capacity possibly going on here. Now, looking down below the bed, they have this very cool, big, like, giant double dresser storage available in this one. And across from that, they don't do a full rear wall closet. Salem Wildwood's version of this does that. It's also longer and heavier. But to keep this thing under 30 feet, they just put a huge chunk of closet space against the wall across the bedroom. And the fully mirrored doors, like a big fifth wheel, frankly, it's not bad. They did a really good job here. And the optional TV in the back, you might have noticed that can pivot around for some easy viewing. Now, once again, so you're not putting on an involuntary free show for the neighbors, you do have a blackout privacy shade right there. And this rear door will actually become very, very important when it comes to closing up the slides and accessing everything here in road mode. Because even if you leave that bathroom door open and wedge that sucker open, you're not going to slide between that slide fascia and the entertainment center to get your way back here into the bathroom. So for travel and access into the bathroom, you absolutely need the second entry door in this one. Now, if this is not important for you, if you don't care about a second entry door, I think one of the best alternatives is the Freedom Express 259 version of this floor plan, because instead of a second entry door, they added an outside camp kitchen that it's actually a big full outside camp kitchen, actually has a sink, does all those things that so many RVs stopped doing. The Coachmen Freedom Express group is still nailing a bunch of those features. Now, just to kind of connect the visual, looking back around the corner again, when that slide closes, it's pinched off. You're just not going to get yourself through there. However, if you need to stop, make yourself a sandwich, get to the fridge, use the sink, get to the majority of the kitchen storage, maybe not the drawers that were contained under that countertop. This is, I think, a great model for travel stops. For travel stayovers, you're at least going to need to open the bedroom slide. Now, I kind of mentioned this a little bit when we first began, but, if you read the dry weight on this, or 8,800 pound, I think it is, maximum weight, you're like, oh, sweet, so that's like half-ton towable all day long, right? Well, the hitch weight on this is a little bit hefty, that by the time you get yourself into the vehicle, that by the time you load up the camper, it might be pushing half-ton payload ratings and capacity, so kind of keep little things like that in mind. I'd rather put your safety before the sale on something like this. Now, all that being said, what are we looking at here? We are looking at the, like I said, the chocolate brown, champagne, whatever you want to call it, exterior on these. You can also get any Rockwood or Flagstaff with a like white and graphite exterior, so you kind of have a choice between, I don't know, old man tan and, IBM monotone, whatever. Whatever color scheme you know what, I've given you an idea of a lot of different options. There's also like it has 200 watts of factory solar. You can also add additional panel, or I think a second additional panel for up to 3 from the factory. I know you can add at least 1 extra. So like, what sofa, what dinette? Would you like the lighter or the darker interior? Would you like the lighter or the darker exterior? Like, what setup? How would you prefer one of these built? I'd be very, very curious. Normally, I don't go through and open a ton of storage on camera like that, but with the weather, obviously, I didn't want to leave it open any longer than I absolutely had to. Now, you might notice 2 little mini rails hanging off the side here. One is for like a little, like prep table shelf that, again, with the weather, I just don't have out. The one up front here, though, does have a gas grill cooker hooker down below it, and that is where the factory supplied griddle could be utilized. Now, underneath of these, they are enclosed. They do have a radiant barrier through the belly and up the nose. They also, up the nose, I don't know why, that just sounds funny. Like, yeah, put a radiant barrier up your nose, buddy. Anyway, you ever notice how moms can take literally anything you say and make it sound like they're going to hit you? They're like, I'll radiant barrier your nose. Anyway, what did I say? Oh, and holding tank heaters standard on these. That's something they've been doing longer than just about anybody. Interesting little construction factoid. The front wall of this behind the nose cap actually still has a 1-inch laminated wall. Now notice over here, they have maximized the patio awning coverage, which is great. They have also standardized the big folding stable steps. They don't have an option to swap away from these. Those are gas strutted assisted versions, so they could be removed, but not quite as easily as just pulling a pin like the non-gas strut version. So once again, everything's greatest quality is also its greatest liability. I say that all the time. Goodyear Endurance radials. Rockwood was, I think, the second major producer. Pardon me. I just like literally choked on thin air. Major producer to kind of standardize the use of those right behind Jayco. They were also the first major producer to standardize the inclusion of tire pressure monitoring system. TPMS standard with their RVs includes its own little separate handheld monitor. Now you got a little outside utility shower right back here, which is nice. It's hot and cold. You can rinse your feet off and then slide inside that bedroom door right over to the bathroom to help keep the dirt tracked out of the RV as much as possible. Standard on this would be manual jacks. Here in the Ultralight series, you can option the power jacks that we're looking at today. It's not until you get up to the Signature series, or what Flagstaff calls the Classic Superlight, that you can get into automatic leveling. So basically what we're looking at today is the most advanced jack system that they can put on this thing. Jack. Anyway, On the back, you see that there is a ladder to get us up to that fully walkable roof, and giving you a little bit of a tour up there. You might notice anywhere that you get those power vent fans in these, you also get those roof vent covers, which I think pretty much everybody enjoys and prefers. Again, we're looking at the optional second air version of this today, and we're looking at the standard 200-watt factory solar package. Again, you can add one and I think a second additional panel right from the factory. Their charge controller can handle up to 600 watts. And that's another thing. Their solar stuff makes more sense this year. They're using the same controller they were using, but previously they were using 190-watt panels. Like a lot of brands, they've bumped up to 200 watts, and that means now that basically you can use your charge controller to its maximum effect and capacity. We're looking at the optional slide awnings today. Rockwood does those so inexpensively. It's like they can install them from the factory way cheaper than we could ever hope to. Again, I don't normally open a lot of storage on camera like this, but I also don't want to just leave this open and exposed to the elements. Notice too, they're using slam latch baggage doors here in the Ultralight series. That's one thing I hear very frequently on the mini lights, the little brother to this. People say, man, you know, I just wish it had those slam latches. Well, the big brother here series does, and this is kind of this is the Jan, this is the middle child, but this is a Rockstar knockout popular model right here. The tinted frameless windows, by the way, are standard. Those things will get less airflow, but those bigger XL vent fans that we've put in here, it can really help overcome that potential deficiency quite a bit. So like I said, you can get this thing in either the Rockwood or the Flagstaff name. I'll have links in the description to see if we have one or both in stock. If we have them in stock, we'll have pricing listed right there for you. There's also like Jayco now, Coachman, Salem Wildwood. There's so many people who are now building models like this because this thing has been so popular and so darn successful. Wouldn't you know it, I got some footage of those too. I'll leave you some links to those, and maybe if you get a chance, check one or two of those, and let me know which one would be your favorite and why. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.